wonderful talents, welcome to Profitable Talents. I'm Alessia and this is
Jacopo. We often get very discouraged by our competition. We think they're stealing a slice of our market, when instead competition can be an incredible asset to grow our own business. And in this video, we want to show you a few things we found along the way that helped us modeling from our competition, and also some errors that we did by copying the competition, but some incredible tips that we found to leverage the work that our competition did to come to our advantage and grow our business with it. First of all, let me remind you that the online space, it's a relatively new market. So by having competition is actually a good thing, because it validates so many things that you are trying to do. Especially in the coaching industry, there are so many coaches out there to coach you in pretty much anything. It doesn't really mean there is a market for that. For example, imagine what I could do. It's a business that my dream business would be to do pizza eating coaching. Right? I would be great at that because I know everything about how a perfect pizza should look like, how you should eat it and enjoy it at best. But that doesn't mean people would pay for it, right? So if I don't have any competition, it's not necessarily a good thing. On the other hand, if I am in a niche that's got plenty of competition, there is a lot of stuff we can leverage to improve our business, our pricing, our offer, our content, and even the business model as well.
And the good thing is that everyone has got competition. I remember we had a conversation, a discussion with someone that had a business in finance. And he came out quite cocky, in my opinion, when he said, well, I don't actually have any competition. I'm the best of the best and I'm the only one that does this thing. Well, I said, have you thought that maybe someone in a different market might be your competition? For instance, if you're thinking about crocheting or your business is in crochet or knitting or doing anything specific at home, it might go really well throughout the whole time of winter. People are at home, they don't go out, they want to have a cup of tea. They're more than happy to pay for something that will keep them nice and warm and also be productive throughout the winter. But what happens when we get into summer? Your competition might be somewhere in gardening, yeah? So someone that tells you how to plant certain seeds, how to get out and about rather than staying at home knitting, you can go out and even get physical with your gardening. So you think outside the box. Just because your competition might not be in the same niche, it might be something totally different that is kicking your butt right now. So think about that.
Because if you switch your focus from, oh, nobody does it the way I do it, from what problem am I actually fixing? In the knitting niche, you'll be like, how do I pass the time and enjoy my time? In the financial advising niche, like this person that we mentioned at the beginning, there's plenty of ways to make money. And
plenty of ways to invest as well.
Plenty of ways to invest. There's real estate, there is business acquisitions, there is online business, there's brick and mortar businesses, there's so many things. So competition is plenty. But the trap that we face when facing competition is, first of all, approaching it as a scarcity mindset element, like, oh my God, they're limiting my market. That's not true, because the market is big enough for everybody. But secondly, the positive thing is that they have validated your offer. They validated the way your offer is existent in the marketplace. So now let's analyze some ways in which you can use your competition, leverage your competition to get your business to the next level.
There is so much that you can learn from your competition as well. For instance, I still remember at the very beginning when we started copying or modeling what Yoga with Adriene was doing. I had no idea how to be out and about on the online market or what I needed to do on YouTube, but then I started modeling what others did. One of the positive things that I got was even to think outside the box on how to create videos and how to engage with the audience. For instance, one of the beautiful things that I learned from Yoga with Adriene was to create videos with an intent. For example, we started doing, it was yoga for runners or yoga for when you're feeling tired, yoga when you need to be energetic. So I started thinking, what if I created videos that had still the ballet element into it, and I helped my audience to come out with a outcome and do the exercises with an outcome. So it would have been way better and people would approach the the ballet class in a completely different way. And I still do this. Every time I create a new class, every time I create something for my audience, comes out to be, what do I want them to achieve by the end of this class? So if people come with a very good intent into your class, it's more likely that they will achieve it. That's the power of writing something specific, both for yourself and for the audience that it's watching.
Of course, you want to look at the competition and see what's working for them. We looked at the Yoga with Adrian channel, which was, I think, the reference for the yoga online. And you also were following the classes, so it was a perfect match. And we saw, okay, where are the most popular videos? Are all of the videos that really are simply yoga for something. And so we took inspiration, like you said, and it worked. So look at positive trends in your competition content to instruct what maybe can work for you too. Just use the same format and change it for your own niche. That's the first thing we did, and it really, really worked.
Part of it was also how to connect with your audience. I had absolutely no idea, as I said before, on how to navigate this sea of information that was online. But one thing was important for me. The fact that she replied, or someone was replying to every comment out there, to make people feel understood and also to be part of a community. So it was a very important switch that I made when I said, okay, it's not just about the content, it's also about the community and the people that are watching, to create something that is bigger than themselves and is bigger than myself as well. So everything put together created the channel, and I wanted to create something as secure and feeling good as much as the channel that she was creating. So I took my own twist and my own flavor to it and added it to what I was doing, learned a lot of how to do videos, what to think, how to think outside the box, how to make people feel good, and how to create a community from someone else, from the so-called competition. But there are also things that might not work for your niche, and it might not work for the model, the business model that you have created. And this is when we understood how badly we shot ourselves on the foot, or when we started copying pricing.
The big problem is that the natural instinct is to see what the big ones have done, what they're doing, and as little ones we want to do exactly the same because that's what works, without considering the crucial elements that would make the big ones succeed. For example, Yoga with Adrian came out with a membership, which was amazing, like full of videos, everybody loved it, and we said, great, let's do exactly the same thing. How much is it for that membership? And I think it was very low, like $9 a month. So we said, great, we should do exactly the same and open our membership. Then we realized very quickly that we needed so many members to have a reasonable income, not just for us to survive, but to sustain the costs and all of the production time and investments we needed to carry on building the membership, that made complete nonsense. What? That didn't make any sense. We completely ignored the fact that she had millions of subscribers. And even if the percentage of members that actually are going to join the membership are very low, with millions of subscribers, you can run with that business model. But if you are tiny, you have maybe 10,000 subscribers, which is more than many people have, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot if the $9 a month product is the only product you have. How many members do you need to have a normal wage at the end of the month? It's insane. So make sure you're pricing based on your situation, based on the value that you are giving out and the perceived value that people will receive, so that it makes sense for you and it makes sense for them as well.
Of course, we're not only talking about raising the prices just because you have to make the money, but it is about how much value you can offer based on the price that you're giving out. You can even have very few people in your membership, but is it about the coaching? How are you interacting with them? What is the value that you're giving out every single week for them? How are you making them succeed? Obviously, the price and the value that you give out and the value of being with you in a membership has to change based on the pricings that you give out. Obviously, you cannot do a one-to-one or having 10 people in your membership if you're only going to price them at $9.99 a month.
This brings us to the next point, which is you can look at your competition offer and come up with a better one for a higher price. kind of like what you said. If I had to come up with a better offer than Yoga with Adriene would do right now, if I were in a fitness/yoga niche, I could look at what she's offering. She's offering more content.
With lots of instructors as well. So you might not have those possibilities as well.
But they're all, I guess, pre-recorded. They're not going to do one-to-one at all. There's no specific journey or path for anyone. So if I were a yoga instructor right now, I would think about, well, first of all, who am I targeting? Am I targeting young people, older people? What problem do they have? And do all the marketing research. And then I can look at my competition content to see what the comments say so that I can feed off that, but also come out with an offer that fixes problems that they're having right now. And maybe if I'm just starting out, I can have an offer that has more value into it. We can create like one-to-one journeys, like unlimited coaching for like a specific amount of time. There's a Q&A. There is also content on the back end for them to do on their own. Plus there are tools. There is maybe the community, the accountability, all of that kind of stuff can increase the value of your offer that it fits in the same market as Yoga with Adriene, for example. But you are nurturing a different, more intimate niche that maybe you're willing to pay more for that because there's more value, there's more tailored value for them.
I knew the very first thought that got into your mind was, oh, I should treat a membership or I should treat my online course as a school or a studio that I have as a brick and mortar. And it's not gonna work. It's a completely different. People can walk into your studio and just say, okay, I want one off and just walk out. I do the class and goodbye. But when you're talking online, the competition is so high. Why would I walk into your online studio and stick to your path, what you do, and fall in love with you? It's not because you have more classes. It's not because you have one class a week. Think outside the box. How can you make your people stay? How can you create that value to offer and to make your people succeed? Think outside the box. It's not just about the class weekly.
Yes, we know a few very big influencers online that are still using the brick and mortar model for their online stuff. Like meaning they have 2, 3, 4 classes a week live. It's like you would do in an actual school. And you're going to tire yourself out. You're going to burn out and people are going to be overwhelmed by all of these classes. They will probably leave because there's so much choice that they're not getting their money worth, which is kind of in a way what happened to us in our membership because we had so much stuff. So make sure you listen to your people and what they need and give them the best solution within the constraints of a business that you like running and it's easy to fulfill for them and that gets your clients results. There's also another brilliant thing you can do if you start thinking outside the box and use your competition, leverage the competition to give you even more opportunity to make money and help other people.
So recently it was interesting because I know as a content creator, you get into the panic mode of everyone is doing the specific thing. At the moment in the ballet world, especially in the adult ballet world, which I'm so happy it's happening because it's given the possibility to adults to have the experience of dancing in person if they were doing a professional training. And to me, that is one of the greatest things ever. But I also know how much there is to put together a in-person live adult ballet intensive. We've been there. We had even few troubles here and there trying to figure out where to find the right spots, if it was going to be a retreat, if the accommodation was going to be included, if the person was going to actually give me the studio or not. There are so many obstacles and I am not willing to put my people into trouble to come all over and they might not find exactly what they were looking for. And I put so much strain on myself on trying to make it so perfect that I stood back. But I'm glad that there are other people that are creating these possibilities, these experiences for adult dancers to go and dance. And I said, well, now everyone is rushing and creating adult ballet intensives around the world. There are so many instructors that are putting together these retreats and these intensives that everyone feels the need, feels the rush of having to go and create one and finding the right time, finding when the flights are not so expensive, when the accommodation is not going to be super duper expensive, how many people as teachers they're going to have, how many teachers they're going to have in their intensive. And I thought, I wanted to do that intensive so bad, but actually no. But no one, what is thinking is, how can I help? anyone that might not feel so ready to step into an adult ballet intensive yet, or they've never been to an adult ballet intensive yet, because yes, they might have had their classes, their weekly classes around their own studio, but they've never had that experience of dancing 6 or 7 hours a day, being in a huge studio with different teachers, having to pack your bags because you're pretty much going on tour for a week or two, packing all the essentials that you need for an adult ballet intensive, thinking ahead on how you can be stronger and what exercises you need to do in order for you to not get injured, because I'm sure you're not. If you're dancing as a hobby, you're not prepared to take on so much strain on your body physically, even what to eat in a day. You have to be prepared for that. So rather than starting to create another intensive and thinking about how to sell the tickets or what I need to do, I said, I want to do something that will get them intensive ready. So I created a guide, I created a package for them to say, this is what you need in order for you to be prepared to your intensive in person. So you're not going to forget your toe pads, you're not going to forget to grab your ouch pouch, the toe pads for your point shoes, you're not going to forget your point shoes if you're doing any points, and so on. So anything that I can help you out to think or tick or make your life easier in order for you to then go and enjoy those adult ballet intensives. So it might not be that you are helping them out by creating something that is already out there.
Competing with what's already being created and try and be a little bit better, a little bit cheaper, and have a race to the bottom.
Or something. Yeah, that's exactly what's probably going to happen. But how can you help the same people and tap into the same niche by helping them with something the others have not thought about? And it's the same situation where I was thinking all the miners going around trying to find the gold. So everyone was mining. And then I'm sure there was someone out there that said, well, all these miners are actually going to need the shovel. So someone created the best shovels for them to go and mine the gold.
Or even any shovel, because they needed it so badly that anyone with a shovel shop would sold out every day. This thing that we tried to place into the market was more like a free resource. So because we wanted to make it no-brainer for everybody doing this ballet intensive to access to also our ecosystem. Once they are into our ecosystem, then what do? We give them so much value that is complementary to what they are still trying to achieve. And also if they want to go deeper into physical preparation, technique, and all the things that we do in our little Lazy Dancer Tips world, we've got programs for that. And if they're ready, if they see that, because we mentioned them in the emails that we're going to send them, they're going to buy our programs off of the need that somebody else is fulfilling. So always look for opportunities that your competition might be creating right now. How can you complement somebody else's work? And just work together in a way. You can even partner up and say, listen, I've got this free guide for all the people that are coming to your event. Would you mind me sending them the guide? Of course, explaining everything you want to do with it. And it's collaboration. We never do it. We think that we always have to win alone, but that's not always the case. Okay, now that you know how to demolish your competition, I'm just kidding, just learning and leveraging it. We wanted to show you how we made 20 to 30K a month consistently in a tiny hobby niche. And we want to give you a blueprint on how to do that in a sustainable and while having fun. And this is a video you should watch right now because we go through every step we take. Hello, beautiful people. You always have to do it now.
I like it, okay? Every step you take.